please help me welcome Steph.
They can hear me? I know y'all can hear me. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Thank you everyone for gathering today. Again, my name is Steph Vigil. I refer to myself these days as a former and future state representative. Taking a little hiatus to a statistical tie that put a MAGA Republican into our seat, a district that Kamala Harris carried by almost 52 points, by the way. So we got to get people to vote every election. We can't be messing around with this. So I know a thing or two about serving in a difficult district. This district is a toss-up where I live and where I've served. It is the definition of a competitive district, one of the highest in the state. And I still showed up. There is no excuse. When you serve in public office, one of your obligations is to communicate what you're doing to your constituents. If there's a decision you've made that people don't understand and that's why they're mad about it, then show up and explain yourself. If there's something that that you've done that people just don't like because they don't like it, that's fair. Nobody's going into public office with totally unanimous support. We all know that. Some of us with even more oppositional voices than others. And I still held 5 town halls per year, both years that I was in office. Those are ones that I initiated. That's not counting other events where I showed up and I wasn't necessarily warmly welcomed. I'm a union member. I'm staunchly pro-worker. Guess who doesn't? Guess who doesn't fare very well at the Chamber of Commerce? This guy. Not super great, but guess what? Still showed up to all their things, their roundtables, their town halls, their community discussions, because they expected to hear from me, and I still have constituents who support their agenda, and so it makes sense to be there. And if he can't do it, if you can't show up and explain what you're doing, maybe you're not fit for the seat. But I think on top of all that, because listen, I don't have some delusion in my mind that someone like Crank is going to turn all woke and cool and liberal the second he gets into office. We're not expecting that, and honestly, that would actually be quite offensive, right? We don't like that when a Democrat does that. We don't like that when somebody from any party or in a nonpartisan race does that. You run on your platform, you stick to your platform, and you get elected. I don't think that throwing our veterans overboard was on Jeff Crank's platform. Do you guys remember hearing that? I don't remember hearing anything about that. And some of these hacks are going to tell you that they're not cutting services, they're just reducing personnel. That's all, they're just reducing personnel. They're already short-staffed, amen. But here we are in the House of Labor, so how convenient to bring this up and highlight this for everyone. The workers are the ones who provide the services. That's what the services are. If the VA is laying off your doctor, your therapist, your social worker, any of the support staff that make it possible for them to provide care, then they are cutting your services, period, full stop. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Another thing I don't seem to recall seeing on Jeff Craig's platform that I think should be fairly popular, it certainly seems to be bipartisan or nonpartisan in the state of Colorado, is the fact that he's standing by and twiddling his thumbs while Donald Trump sells off our public lands. In Colorado, of all places, how are you going to represent a Colorado district and not cherish and protect our public lands with every fiber of your being? Because once they're gone, they're gone. If they sell them off, we don't get them back. That's such a popular idea. Do you know there's a resolution going through the Colorado General Assembly right now, passed unanimously out of the Senate, to protect our public lands? That is the definition of if Frank is not going to show up and explain to us why he thinks it's acceptable for Donald Trump to pillage our public lands, maybe he should give the seat to someone who will. There's just nothing patriotic about this. There's nothing patriotic about denying care for our veterans. There's nothing patriotic about giving away our land. And it's certainly not an act of public service to hide from your own constituents. So, what are we going to do about this?
Fire him!
Well, yes, we can fire him. So, y'all, we had, I think, a bad habit the last time that Jeff Crank's dear leader, Trump, might have heard of him, the last time he got into office. And I remember an awful lot of people talking about how we were going to, quote unquote, get through the next 4 years. Do y'all remember that? No, this isn't about the next 4 years. This is a critical moment. This is an acute threat. But we have deep-seated injuries, core injuries in this nation that make that kind of politician possible. And it makes it possible for people like Crane to hide from us while they pretend to serve us, and it makes it possible for someone to get into that office twice and threaten to and actively attempt to consolidate power around the presidency and ignore the U.S. Constitution. So, we need to think much deeper about how we heal our own core injuries, about how we connect with others, about how we show up in our own communities. I heard mention about the city council election today. I really appreciate that, because you know what we don't have in Colorado Springs? A non-election year. Ever. Every year is an election year. We actually have 2 this year. Y'all know that? Because we've got municipal and we've got school board this year. You also have primaries to participate in. You have down ballot races. There are ballot initiatives. Anywhere that you have power, if you don't step up and use it, it just goes to somebody else. Human nature abhors a power vacuum. Show up and take it. So I'm just going to encourage everyone, make friends with people here today. I made friends with somebody here today who's not even nowhere near the same part of the political spectrum I am. That doesn't matter. We still have a lot that we have in common here in our community, and we need to work on it together. So buckle up. Buckle up. Do not get comfortable with this idea that if you can just survive the next 4 years and we go back to normal. I don't want the old normal. I have a vision for Colorado Springs that is so much brighter than what we used to put up with around here. Are y'all with me?